You've probably heard the saying that every Pokemon is someone's favorite, and while this is probably true, it doesn't mean that every Pokemon's been given its fair shot in the limelight in the card game. In this series, we're going to give attention to all those neglected Pokemon and show how they can have a chance to shine in the Pokemon trading card game. Gym Leader Challenge is a unique, unofficial format created by Andrew Mahone of Tricky Gym. His link will be down in the description below. It's a singleton format for Pokemon with a few extra rules. First, and most importantly, is that you can only use cards from the Black and White era through today with a small ban list. Second, there are no rulebox Pokemon of any kind allowed. That means no EXs, GXs, Vs, Radiants, or A-Specs, anything like that. Third, as mentioned at the beginning of the video, it is a singleton format. That means you can only have one of every card, and that's it. There's even some cards that you can't have if you have others, like no Lysander if you got Boss's Orders. And third, also, basic energies, you can have as many as you want. Finally, and most importantly, is that all of your Pokemon must be the same type. It's called Gym Leader Challenge for a reason. You gotta have your deck like a gym leader. This also means that some Pokemon are just gonna be unplayable. There is no Scizor available in Gym Leader Challenge. There's no Steel-type Scythers, there's no Grass-type Scizors, so thus, you just can't play Scizor. As much as that stinks, I think it's time we figure out what our first Pokemon that we're gonna play with is. I've put every single fully evolved Pokemon on this wheel right here. We're gonna give it a spin and see what our first Gym Leader Challenge Pokemon is. We're gonna take this, build a deck around it, and then play a game against one of my friends. And our first Pokemon is... Dustox! Oh, okay. You know what? That's actually not that bad. Dustox is the fully evolved form of Wurmple, and it was introduced in the Hoenn region of Generation 3. In the video games, and even in the anime, Dustox is often outshined by its other half, Beautifly. This is also true in the card games. Playing Beautifly with Gasping Draw is generally considered a better, more consistent option in Gym Leader Challenge. But if we want to play Dustox, we're not really going to be able to play that Beautifly in this deck. So first things first, what Dustoxes are even available to play in Gym Leader Challenge? First, there's the Psychic-type Dustox from Dragon's Exalted. Unfortunately, we can't use this Dustox as there have been no Psychic-type Cascoons or Wurmples. Next, we have Dustox from Roaring Skies. This Dustox is definitely suboptimal, as needing 4 energies to do 80 damage isn't just bad, it's so difficult to set up that this shouldn't be on your radar at all. Now, there are 2 Dustox cards I considered playing. Dustox from Lost Origin and Lost Thunder. The first confuses and poisons, and putting 8 damage counters on the Pokemon in between turns seems fun. It's not necessarily the most consistent, although 1 retreat cost is nice. The one from Lost Thunder could be fun to play in a control deck, as when you evolve it, you paralyze and poison your opponent's Pokemon, and you put 3 damage counters between turns for that poison. Combine that with Devolution Spray, and it's not terrible. But Grass doesn't have enough support for a control deck, so I decided against it. Before I say which Dustox I did use, I wanted to show one other Dustox card that is absolutely worth considering. In January, Ascended Heroes will be released, and with it, a new Dustox card. Its attack is 2 energy for 100 damage, and it puts to sleep and poisons the opponent's Pokemon. That's not bad, but the ability is what makes it even potentially worth playing. Each turn, even if it's not in the active spot, you can flip a coin, and if heads, put an energy from your opponent's active Pokemon into their hand. This is some amazing support for disruption decks and shouldn't go without thought. You could absolutely make something work with this, but it's not what we're going to be playing with today since it's not released yet. In this deck, we're going to be going with Dustox from Roaring Skies, but the other one. This Pokemon has a subpar attack. For 3 energy, deal 50 damage to one of your opponent's benched Pokemon. That sounds terrible until you read its Delta Plus ability. If Dustox knocks out an opponent's Pokemon, take an extra prize card. That is incredibly strong in a format where everything gives up a single prize. So I cooked up a Grass spread deck to take advantage of its mediocre damage and truly let the little Moth shine. Let's check it out. Alright, so let's check out the 60 cards that I cooked up for a Dustox spread deck. First, we got the man, the myth, the legend, Dustox. Dustox here is going to be accompanied by Cascoon from Lost Origin and Wurmple from Lost Thunder. These 2 cards I think are the optimal Cascoon and Wurmple for this Dustox. Cascoon's hardened attack can save it from a heavy attack, and Wurmple's 1 retreat cost and poison sting can help spread damage around really nicely. Then, what other attackers are going to be in the deck? Well, we're going to use Hisuian Lilligant from, I believe that's Astral Radiance. So Hisuian Lilligant has an attack for 2 energy, it can do 20 damage to all of your opponent's Pokemon, and you switch the Hisuian Lilligant back to the bench. This is how we're going to get some of those damage counters spread around on the opponent's Pokemon that's going to allow Dustox to take those easy 2-prize knockouts. We're going to use the Petilil from Black Bolt, as it has the hide attack, preventing it from taking damage if you need a stall for a turn. The next attacker we have is going to be Decidueye from Cosmic Eclipse. This Decidueye has 2 attacks, one for 1 energy that does 40 damage to one of my opponent's Pokemon. It could be the bench, it could be the active, and then the second attack, Tracking Shot, for 2 energy, does 80 to the active and 80 damage to any one of my opponent's bench Pokemon that has damage counters on it. It's going to pair really nicely with both Lilligant and its first attack. We're going to use Dartrix from Obsidian Flames because it has Shoot Through to also damage the bench, and Rowlet from Shrouded Fable for that add-on attack. Drawing a card can be very useful at times. The next Pokemon are our support Pokemon. We're going to start with Cherim from Battle Styles and Cherubi from, I believe that's Brilliant Stars. I'm not quite sure on the set symbol for that one. Cherubi cannot be damaged on the bench, so it can help prevent itself from being bench sniped, and Cherim's ability allows you to attach as many grass energy cards as you want per turn. The next support Pokemon is going to be Eldegoss from Evolving Skies, and we're going to use Gossiflower from Sword and Shield base set for that one. The Call for Family attack on Gossiflower is really good. Searching for 3 basic Pokemon and putting them on your bench is phenomenal. And Eldegoss's ability to search your deck for 2 grass energy and put them in your hand pairs really nicely with Cherim, who can just attach as many as you want per turn. Can power up Dustox, Decidueye, Lilligant very quickly. The last support Pokemon that we're going to be running is Sawsbuck. Now, I want to talk about this Sawsbuck and Deerling combo for a second. First of all, this is the Sawsbuck from Cosmic Eclipse I apologize. Its ability says you can draw 1 extra card per turn, which is amazing. The Deerling for 60 hit points isn't an ideal Deerling. A lot of people are going to want 70 hit point Pokemon on the bench to stop things like Raging Bolt, but remember, we're not building the most competitive deck. This is pretty casual, and Deerling's attack, Find a Friend, allowing you to search your deck for a trainer card? No, I apologize. Find for a Pokemon card, reveal it and put it in your hand, can also be pretty beneficial. But I wanted to pause and talk about this for a second, and I'm going to set these to the side so that way you can kind of see on this side of the screen over here what I'm going to be talking about. There is a new card coming out in Ascended Heroes. It is a Silcoon. I highly recommend the Silcoon from Ascended Heroes and Beautifly from Lost Origin over this Deerling if you decide to build your deck yourself. That Silcoon has an ability that when you evolve, once per turn, if you've evolved your Wurmple into Silcoon, you can search your deck for a Cascoon and put it on your bench. That's amazing. That solves the problem of trying to play both the Gasping Draw Beautifly from Lost Origin and a Dustox. So I would swap these 2 for Silcoon and Beautifly, but since they're not out yet, I didn't play with them. The last Pokemon we're running with is everyone's favorite controversial Gen 8 inclusion, Maractus. I know Maractus is Gen 5, but I'm talking about that SpongeBob meme. Yeah, that one. Maractus is a great disruption Pokemon, can prevent your opponent from retreating, lock something in the active, and get something with a couple of damage counters on it if necessary. Overall, it's a good just-in-case kind of card. So let's talk about the supporters and the rest of the cards I'm going to be using. When it comes to searching the deck for cards, supporters can be very useful. So we play things like Ball Guy to find 3 cards with ball in their name. Dawn to find a stage of Pokemon with grass. That's really useful thanks to their new stadium that we'll talk about later. Colress's Tenacity to find stadiums and an energy if necessary. Arven to find a tool and an item, and Raihan so that way you can find any card you need if one of your Pokemon was knocked out the turn before, as well as accelerate energy to some of those 2 energy Pokemon that are kind of difficult to manage. Lastly, we also play Gideon in the event that we need to search our prizes for, well, the Dustox, since it's kind of the point of the video. It would be a shame if it was prized. For Hand Reset, we play Professor's Research and Lily's Determination. Those cards are going to help us a lot, but we also play 2 more Hand Reset cards that also disrupt the enemy, being Marnie and Iono. These 4 cards together are going to be really useful for making sure that we have a solid hand every turn. As far as recovery supporters, we play Lucamine, Lana's Aid. Those two are going to be fantastic. Again, Lana's Aid pairs perfectly with the new stadium to allow you to evolve all the way up to your stage 2 Pokemon in one turn. So those will be pretty useful. And then the last two supporters we run are Disruption Trainers, being Guzma and Boss's Orders. Again, these cards should be very helpful in games where we need to kind of make sure we have something trapped in the active, so spread as much damage around as possible. Now for items, there's a couple of different kinds of items. For searching, we've got Buddy Buddy Poffin, Level Ball, Nest Ball, Net Ball, Suian Heavy Ball, Pokemon Communication, Bug Catching Set, Evo Soda, and Evolution Incense. All these cards are going to be very helpful finding the missing pieces we need because we are running a pretty evolution heavy deck. For item support, item search I should say, we play Trainer's Mail, Professor's Letter, and Versus Seeker. All of those cards are going to be able to get us the key cards we need, well, hopefully. We also play Countercatcher. Just because we're running a spread deck, we're often going to be behind on prizes, so having a key Countercatcher turn can really upset our opponent and get us into a much stronger board state. For recovery items, we're going to be running Rescue Stretcher, Night Stretcher, Super Rod, and the best recovery item ever printed, Revitalizer. Put 2 grass Pokemon from the discard pile into your hand every single time, yes please. For our tools, we're running U-Turn Board, Air Balloon, Technical Machine Evolution, and Technical Machine Devolution. It is a spread deck, Devolution can be useful, and because we're running so many evolution Pokemon, TM Evolution is going to be really, really useful. For stadiums, we have Turffield Stadium to find those evolutions that we desperately need, and Forest of Vitality. That's the stadium that's going to really let this deck set up if we ever get behind. If they knock out Dustox, if they knock out Decidueye, being able to bring it back in one turn with some of our supporters is going to be really, really nice. Finally, we just run 8 Grass Energy. So now, let's play a game and see how this deck does.
Alright, so here the game begins. I had to cut some of the visuals because they kind of didn't really work out too well, so if you missed the shuffling, I apologize. But here is my game against Tara and her double hit grass deck. Tara is another player at our local GLC league who actually won a monthly tournament with this deck, so we know we're going up against a pretty solid deck. She did have to mulligan the first time, which is going to be great for us, but you can see by my hand some of the cards. We started with Cherubi in the active. We have a really decent hand. Marty to refresh, Gladian if we need it, U-Turn Board to get out of the active, but we can find another basic. One other thing I would like to mention is that we are playing with a specific house rule. Oh, and Tara's going to mulligan a second time. Great news for us. Not necessarily great for Tara, unfortunately. But we are playing with a house rule that I saw on a different channel. When we play at our local tournaments, we do not prize check with the first deck search. However, we are going to be doing that for these videos just for 2 main reasons. One, kind of keeps the game moving along, so we're not prize checking for like the first minute or 2 of the video. And second, it allows me to kind of get into the mind of what either myself or my opponent is thinking when we start the game. So for example, if I might in reality be questioning, like when we play the game, I might be going, why aren't you benching Hoppip? Well, maybe it's because Skiploom is prized and I don't know that at the time. So by checking the prizes, we can show the camera, and then I, doing this voiceover, would have a better understanding of why decisions were made. So it looks like Terry's going to open up Dipplin. She is going to go first with Rellor on the bench. Rellor scares me. Remember, this is a spread deck, so not being able to put Pokemon in the, not being able to put damage counters on the bench doesn't bode well for us. She's immediately going to open up with a town map, flipping those over, so no need to even prize check, and she's got Sawsbuck and Skiploom in the prizes, which is unfortunate. That's the Sawsbuck from Temporal Forces that allows you to search your deck for 1 stadium card once per turn, and that Skiploom allows her to evolve very quickly into the Jump Bluff with double hit, but with that prize, that is very, very good news for us. So it looks like she's just going to attach a Grass Energy, and since she can't play supporters, she passes her turn. I top deck Lilies, a fantastic fantastic choice, but we're going to go ahead and attach a U-turn board to Cherubi because I'm not going to want to stay in the active after Ball Guy. Ball Guy is one of the best turn 1 supporters you can possibly play. Looking at my prizes, though, it looks like I have Petilil and Lilligant prized, which is unfortunate, as well as a couple of other things that aren't going to matter too much this game, but that Maractus is also prized, but that Petilil and Lilligant being prized is really unfortunate. That's our number 1 way early game of spreading damage around, so it looks like we're going to have to pick a different Pokemon to kind of open up with. We'll pick, for the 3 balls, Nest Ball. I'm kind of debating between what else I want to take and double checking that certain things are in the deck. Even though I just looked at my prizes, I have a terrible memory when it comes to that kind of stuff. We'll get Hisuian Heavy Ball, likely to get either the Petilil or the Maractus, and Net Ball as well. I just need to get more basic Pokemon. There's a lot of setup that needs to be done with this deck, so being able to get those Pokemon set up is going to be very useful for us. By the way, if you can't tell based on how fast this is going, the video is played at 1.5 times speed. That way, we're not sitting here for 30 minutes and thinking about decisions for 30 seconds to a minute where I just try to vamp and fill the space. With the other 2 Pokemon, I'm going to get Wurmple, because we got to get that Dustox online to show it off for this video, and I'm also going to get Rowlet. Rowlet and Decidueye, if you remember, are our other attacker since Petilil is prized, so I'm not really going to be able to use that one. So we'll get Rowlet to try to build up to Decidueye. After shuffling, luckily I do have I either have an energy or Professor's Letter in hand. If I have Professor's Letter in hand and not an energy, and I gotta go through the deck again, that will be annoying, and that is exactly what I'm gonna have to do. Should not have shuffled yet, but oh well. We'll get 2 energy out of the deck, shuffle it up again, and I believe I'm going to attach it to Rowlet. Now I will say, this is a fantastic opening for this deck. Tara is struggling with just an Applin and a Rellor, and if you saw her hand earlier, and we'll look at it again on her next turn, it's not looking great for her. I did not choose this game because of how good this game is going for us, but because it does a good job of showing off Dustox, which is what we're looking for here. So I'm debating who to attach it to. Do I attach it to Maractus and try to trap Applin in the active? Do I attach it to Wurmple and start building up for Dustox? In the end, I decide to go for Rowlet because his add-on attack, allowing me to draw a card, is really good early game, kind of helped me set up earlier. I couldn't quite see what I drew. Turffield Stadium. Now, Turffield Stadium would be fantastic, and I really do want to play that to start getting some of our evolution Pokemon, but I'm really worried on my next turn. I don't know that I want to play that because I don't want Tara to be able to get Rabsca quickly. I don't want her to be able to evolve that little guy down there. So she draws. Unfortunately, I can't quite see her hand right now, but I'm pretty sure I saw an Evo Soda and an Escape Rope, and I can't really see what else there is as she's kind of deciding what exactly she wants to do. I think she's going to go with that Evo Soda, but she herself is not sure whether she's going to be getting the Diplin or the Rabsca. I remember her kind of hemming and hawing about this for a few minutes, hence the long delay here. Which one is she going to go after? The Rabsca would be nice, as it would prevent any kind of damage to the bench, but I'm not really in a position right now to spread damage around, and she kind of needs to start going on the offensive here and dampen my ability to set up, or else it's really going to end up going poorly for her in the long run. But so she gets the Diplin. Unfortunately, with only 1 benched Pokemon, Do the Wave is not going to be doing much damage. And with the ability, she kind of needs Festival Grounds in order to hit twice with Diplin, and Sawsbuck is prized, so she's not really able to search for that stadium. She kind of has to either find it or get her Colress's Tenacity, or simply just draw into it if she's lucky to be able to hit hard with that Diplin. So let's see what she decides to do this turn. Is there anything else in her hand? She's got a Boss's Orders in hand, but that's not really going to help her much this turn. Escape Rope also not helping, so she's just going to go ahead and Do the Wave for 20 damage. I draw into another Grass Energy, which is going to be great for helping to power up that Dustox or get the Rowlet fully powered up, and I do go for the Wurmple. So now here's me debating whether or not to play Turffield Stadium, and in the end, I decide to go with a Trainer's Mail. See if I can get something better right off the bat, and again, this is fantastic. Look at all those choices. Arvin, Bug Catching Set, and Level Ball, and Colress's Tenacity. I'm really debating between the Level Ball and the Arvin. Which one should I go for? If I want to gamble, I can go for the Bug Catching Set, but I think the consistency of setting up faster is going to be better. So I'm kind of hemming and hawing between these two, and eventually I decide on... Oh, come on, put it down so that build-up isn't for nothing. I decide on Arvin. So I pick Arvin because I don't know if I'm going to go for Buddy Buddy Poffin or not, but Buddy Buddy Poffin and TM Evolution, or do I decide not for Buddy Buddy? I believe this game was a while ago, so I'm sorry. Oh, that's right, I don't choose Buddy Buddy Poffin. I think I go for Evolution Incense. because then I can evolve Wurmple this turn straight into Cascoon, and then use TM Evolution to evolve the Cascoon up right into Dustox all in one turn. So here's me getting the TM Evolution, and then I'm going to use TM Evolution to get the Cascoon. And again, this Cascoon is great. The other Cascoon coming out in Ascended Heroes might be a better pick. I'm not quite sure, but I really do like Harden. If I ever get stuck in the active, being able to say, hey, you're doing 60 less damage this turn is kind of a big deal. So I evolve right into Cascoon. I think I'm going to attach TM Evolution, or is there anything else I do first before I evolve? I don't know that there is. I just attach and... oh, I didn't attach an energy this turn. Am I going to see that? Well, yes, I did. I attached a Wurmple. I'm foolish. I'm sorry. Anyway, I do for the TM Evolution, and I get Dustox, and I'm going to go ahead and get Cherubi, which is next turn going to allow me to attach as much grass energy as I want every turn, which is going to help Dustox get powered up real quick if I can find 2 more grass energy. I believe that is a Joltik. I apologize for the glare. I didn't see the glare on the camera when we started recording, but I obviously see it now. But again, Terra just dead drawing into nothing, going to do another 40 damage due the wave this time to Rowlet as I bench my Gossifleur. I attach 1 energy to Dustox. Do I have a second energy in hand? I do not. So I'm going to Turffield Stadium and try to get some of these evolution Pokemon and Lily's Determination. So here we go. Can I, in 8 cards, get an energy? This is all I need. Put down the Turffield Stadium, not because I need the evolution, but to get 1 less card in the deck, so there's a higher chance I will get that energy that I so desperately need here to be able to attack with Dustox. Because if I can do 50 damage to the bench and knock out that Rellor, all right, and no energy. Oh, that's real unfortunate. But lucky for me, I do have a bug catching set, giving me another chance to find energy. And I decide to retreat first, which, in hindsight, not the best play. I should have used the I should have used bug catching set first. But instead, I'm going to Evo Soda first to again thin the deck one more time, get Dartrix out, evolve Rowlet into Dartrix, kind of giving me 1 less card in the deck, 1 more chance of getting an energy with that. Bug catching set, using Turffield Stadium to get the Decidueye out of the deck as well, once again just to thin it 1 more card before I go Level Ball. Gonna thin the deck 1 more time, just getting these cards out of my hand, out of my deck, so that way I have an even higher chance of getting that energy I need to attack with Dustox. So let's see, can I finally get it in 7 cards? Yes, pointed to Turffield Stadium just to make sure that that's what I used, to clarify how I got the Decidueye. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Can I find an energy? And I cannot. Oh my goodness, I get the Deerling and the Sawsbuck, which is great, but not having that energy is killer, which means next turn, Terra's going to be able to use the Turffield Stadium and get the Rabsca, which is going to shut down Dustox completely. Oh, it's such a pain. But you know what? That's the game we play. It is the odds. I did the best I could with what I had available. We're going to go ahead and plop that Deerling down on the bench so I have some draw support next turn. And again, this is another one of those times where I think that Silcoon and Beautifly from Ascended Heroes and Lost Origin are going to be better than the Deerling and the Sawsbuck. Being able, just double checking that I didn't have 2 energy. Moving over, I hit with the flap for 20 damage, a terrible, terrible amount. Now, I will say that Glare is going to be on that card the entire time. That is a Gossifleur that she is benching. She's now going to go ahead and use Turffield Stadium because she's got to get that Rabsca online or she is in trouble next turn. So, yes, as I was saying, I really think that Beautifly is going to be better. Drawing until you have 6 cards in your hand once per turn is significantly better than just drawing 1 extra card. Now, while my hand is stacked and the Beautifly doesn't necessarily help me this game, I think in the vast majority of games, that Beautifly is going to help you more than the Sawsbuck, drawing 1 extra card per turn will. Sawsbuck is great, but a 2 retreat cost. I think the attack is 2 energy for 60 damage, and then you can move it back to the bench. It's not terrible, but the Beautifly is significantly better. So she is going to boss up Gossifleur just to knock it out because I did get the Eldegoss in hand last turn. So if I could have evolved, I could have guaranteed finding that energy. So she's knocking it out with Do the Wave and Dipplin to make sure that I do not have that as an option or an opportunity. Choosing which prize she's going to take, and bug catching set. She is in desperate need of Pokemon and energy, anything to help getting her game going. Kukui could have also been a good choice to draw 2 extra cards, but I kind of agree with bug catching set here. She's got to find some evolutions, got to find some energies. I draw into Gladion, not going to use that this turn. Go ahead and evolve up both Sawsbuck and Decidueye. And what am I going to do here? I am thinking hard. I have Forest of Vitality in hand. I am considering playing it down because I don't want to give Tara access to Turffield Stadium anymore. I don't want her to be able to get her Galvantula or her own Eldegoss out there, so we're going to go ahead and throw that down. And then Iono. I don't want her to have that bug catching set. Even though her hand was kind of dead, and this probably is going to help her more than not, my hand was also kind of dead, and I really needed that energy. So I Iono'd. Do I get the energy? I get more than enough energy for what I need to do. So I'm going to go ahead and throw that energy down onto Decidueye. In fact, I'm going to throw 2 energy down onto Decidueye and the 3rd energy onto Dustox. I'm going to use Counter Catcher because she took a prize last turn to get that Rabsca up, and then I can knock it out. Now, normally Decidueye does 80 damage to the active and 80 damage to a benched, but because of Rabsca's ability, I benched Pokemon with damage counters on it, which would have also knocked out Dipplin, but thanks to Rabsca's ability, I was unable to knock out the Dipplin also in 1 turn. Shame, but necessary. So Tara's debating who to promote here. Dipplin makes the most sense, although not really. But if Dipplin stays on the bench, next turn I'd be able to knock out the active and Dipplin with Decidueye, and she didn't want that. So promote the Dipplin to minimize the damage from Decidueye's next attack. Nest Ball is finally going to be able to get her something good, as she's going to search through the deck, and I don't remember what she gets here. It's either Morlul or Deerling. I think it's Morlul. She is running the Shiinotic that once per turn allows you to search your deck for a grass Pokemon. Getting that online is really going to help set up some of her other attackers because she's in desperate need of backup. But I also believe she has both a grass and an electric type energy in her hand, which can help power up the Joltik if she's able to stop Decidueye from attacking, or if she's able to stop Dustox. And of course she's got to be worried about Dustox. This is a Dustox Highlight video, so I'm definitely going to be using Dustox more, not going to stay in the active with Decidueye. She's kind of looking through her deck, seeing all of her options, deciding what to take here, and she is going to go with that Morlul. Being able to set up and get more grass type Pokemon hopefully can help her catch up, but she is pretty far behind as far as her board. Setting her deck up right because she's going to be going back in there with a Colress's Tenacity. So with Colress's Tenacity, she can get any stadium she wants as well as an energy. Let's see what she ends up deciding. Does she have any special energy in this deck, or is it all grass energy? She is going to be getting the Festival Grounds, which is going to allow Dipplin to attack twice in 1 turn. Fantastic for her. That's going to take that 60 damage, which is not enough to knock out Decidueye, into 2 attacks, which will be able to knock out Decidueye this turn. So that's going to help her get another prize card and take out my only other attacker right now other than Dustox. Looks like she's just going to grab a regular grass energy. I don't know if she runs special energy, but I doubt she is, and she didn't get any, and there's clearly none in her prizes. So let's see, is she just going to bump the stadium and attack, or is there something else she's going to play? She plays Festival Grounds, allowing Dipplin to attack twice per turn. Going through her hand, she is going to attach a grass energy to, thinking about grass to Joltik. Instead, she's going to attach the electric energy to Joltik. Hopefully that'll be able to let her attack with Galvantula the following turn. And instead, do the wave, 60 damage to get me to 120 out of 40, and another 60 damage to knock me out completely, letting her take another prize card. And she is going to end up taking... What does she go with? Does she go with Kukui, Forest of Vitality? I can't quite remember. I can't remember what that was about. I think she was debating something, and I was like, it doesn't matter. That's what that hand wave was for. And she's going to get Kukui, which, if Dipplin survives, is going to allow Dipplin to hit for an extra 20, and if the stadium stays in play, an extra 40 damage. But unfortunately for her, I top deck Glutamine, one of the best top decks I could have had right now to shut down Dipplin. I Sawsbuck for another card, and I get Buddy Buddy Poffin, and Glusamine's going to allow me to put 2 in any combination of stadium and supporter cards back into my hand. I get Forest of Vitality so that I can bump her Festival Grounds, and I'm going to get Arven as well for just a future turn, as some of the tool cards, that's what they're called. Some of the tool cards and items on my deck are going to be very useful. Slopping down Buddy Buddy Poffin just to double check, make sure I don't have any basic Pokemon. I didn't think I did, but I also had no reason to keep Buddy Buddy in hand, so it's good to double check. That's gone, and now, is there anything else before I attack? I don't think there is, unless I change my mind. Playing with Night Stretcher, I am going to I'm going to pick the Night Stretcher. I'm thinking about getting Rowlet back. I've got some Revitalizer in the prizes. I could get that after Dustox takes a knockout here. but I end up deciding against the Rowlet, and instead I'm going to go for just a Grass Energy because I didn't have any in hand, I don't believe I had any in hand, and I might need some for the following turn. And instead I'm going to use Dustox's attack to deal 50 damage to the Joltik on the bench, taking 2 prize cards, and how lucky am I to get both Petilil and Lilligant in the same 2 prize cards. What insane luck. With Forest of Vitality in play, if it stays in play, I'm going to be able to evolve right into that Lilligant next turn, use Charms to attach 2 energy, and get Lilligant powered up right away. She's going to use Nest Ball, and here she makes a bit of a mistake. She searches for a Pokemon, and she ends up getting Shiinotic. Now, Net Ball allows you to get a basic Grass Energy or a basic Grass Pokemon. She chooses Shiinotic, but we're going to catch this in just a second, which is real unfortunate as the Shiinotic would have been real good for her. But I think maybe I wasn't paying attention at the time and I didn't realize how she got the Shiinotic, but very quickly I called her out on that, not able to get the Shiinotic with the Net Ball. Instead, I think the only other basic Pokemon she has in deck are Hoppip and Deerling. So I think she's just going to go for Deerling just so she can get more damage with Do the Wave, 60 damage instead of 40. It might matter in the long run, but might go back in, might not, and deciding she's not going to go back into her deck, so she's going to shuffle it up. And I can't remember if she just attacks or if she's got a trick in her hand. She's got an energy, it seems like, energy, and she has not yet played a supporter for turn. So she's going to go ahead and play Marnie, shuffling my hand. Oh, that's such a shame. The Petilil and the Lilligant going to the bottom of the deck. Oh, that would have been so good to get another attacker set up. But it is what it is. That energy we also pulled out of the discard pile and going to the bottom of the deck as well. So that was me misplaying. I should not have used the Night Stretcher last turn. Having Night Stretcher is infinitely more useful than having an energy when there are energy and Pokemon available in the discard pile. But I do kind of get really lucky, and instead I get Rescue Stretcher, Dawn, Raihan, and Eldegoss. Now Eldegoss isn't very useful as Gossifleur is in the discard pile, and I cannot see what she just slapped down there. What did she get? Goodness gracious. It looks like Colress's Tenacity and Marnie are going back into the deck. She played Palpad. Okay, there it is. So, still with Gossifleur, Fomantis, and Morlul on the bench. Lots of targets for Decidueye on the next turn, but not doing too much. She's not really able to find her evolutions. I am surprised. Oh, there he goes. Just hits me for 80 damage thanks to the extra grass Pokemon on the bench. Do the Wave for 80. I'm going to Rescue Stretcher back my Decidueye, Dartrix, and Rowlet, and then instead of shuffling them back in, I'm just going to go ahead and pick Dawn and evolve straight into it thanks to Forest of Vitality. That is what the beauty of grass and its ability to kind of get Pokemon back with this new stadium that's in play. Now I do misplay here. I should have shuffled before I drew. I didn't think it mattered, right? I didn't need to shuffle them back in, but because I had those cards that were Marnie to the bottom of the deck, I definitely should have shuffled first. So definitely a misplay on my part, but like I said, this is a casual game, not the end of the world, and it's not going to affect the game too much, I hope. But I end up doing 50 damage, knocking out Gossifleur, taking 2 more prize cards. We have a single prize left with just 3 knockouts. There's only 1 prize card left. It's almost like I've been knocking out EXs this whole time. Dipplin is going to go ahead and knock out Dartrix, and with that, I draw. And as long as I can get 2 energy here, I can easily knock out the Dipplin with my Decidueye. Am I able to do that? I get Raihan, which is going to let me attach an energy from the discard pile. And actually, thanks to that Night Stretcher, even if I didn't have it, I would have had it. I can get an energy from my deck, attach 80 damage, and that is the game. Knocking out the Dipplin. Oh man, and getting the Revitalizer as the final prize. A fantastic game. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see, we'll check in with you in a little bit. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you guys liked it, make sure to leave a like, comment, subscribe, all that usual YouTube stuff to make sure I know that you want more of these kinds of videos. I'm excited to make the next one, see what our next Pokemon is going to be for the next GLC video. But before we go, there are 2 last things I wanted to talk about. Number 1 is that I'm going to be putting together a binder of all the cards we use throughout this series. So, since we use Dustox first, we're just going to go ahead and slide Dustox right into our binder, so that way we can kind of get a little memory of all the Pokemon we end up using over the course of this journey. The last thing I wanted to mention is that if you like this video and you want to try making your own deck using Dustox, I actually have an extra one right here. I'm happy to give it away to anyone who wants it. Just leave a comment saying what your favorite part of the video is, or your favorite part of Dustox, or anything like that. Leave a comment, like the video, subscribe, all that fun stuff, and I'll pick one random winner to receive this card. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a fantastic day.